93, everybody. Now, the idea of equality is an essential part of our cultural morality. What I find interesting is that people rarely question this in spite of the fact that it's obviously absurd. Equal is a comparative adjective, so to observe two things, or a wide variety of things, and declare them to be equal, you need some context for comparison. The idea of equality, as it exists and is widely accepted in our culture, can't withstand this in any kind of rational way. If you back people into a corner and ask them what they really mean when they say that people are equal, they generally come up with a tautological answer along the lines of, all human beings are equally human beings. Tautological is a technical term in formal logic that basically means, yeah, and? There's no information in that sentence. It's like saying A is A. Well, okay, fine, but so what? To actually mean something when you use a comparative adjective like equal, you need a context for comparison. This is where things get interesting. Let's start with a simple example. Saying all people are equal is like saying all clothing is equal. Is a cotton t-shirt equal to a wool sweater? Yes? No? It depends. You know, if I'm waiting for a bus during a blizzard in February, I want the wool sweater. If I'm running on the beach in July, I'll take the cotton t-shirt. See? Context for comparison. The same goes for people, but it is a little more complicated. I mean, one person is never just better or worse than somebody else. Even if you pick another sort of easier adjective like smarter, it still depends. Take me, for example. I mean, if you've got a question about the Bible or the breakup of British India or, Western philosophy, I'm a pretty smart guy. If you get a question about physics or Chinese history or the Upanishads, well, I'm dumb as hell. Even then, you've got to be careful about categorical statements. I mean, maybe I've studied Western philosophy more deeply than, say, Jimmy over here, but then again, maybe Jimmy just read David Hume's treatise on human nature. I mean, I haven't read Hume in years. If your question's going to be about that book, you better talk to Jimmy. Inequality is all about circumstances. All people are equally people, sure, but all people are not equal at the game of tennis. I mean, I'm a pretty good tennis player, but Serena Williams is a lot better. On the other hand, maybe tomorrow she falls down the stairs and breaks her ankle and her wrist. Then I could totally kick her ass. See? Circumstances. Who's better? Who's worse? It's not static. It changes. There's only one constant here, and that's that there's no such thing as equality. Not if you're making a real comparison, which, if you're judging a group of things or people to be equal, you must, in order for the statement to have any meaning. How could two people be equally good at chess? Do they tie every time? Say you have two people who have read all the same books, attended all the same classes, and have the exact same IQ. Do you think they're really going to have the same answer to every question? Because I don't. Inequality is fluid. It's constantly fluctuating, but it's always there. Equality is a myth. It was a necessary myth to overcome various forms of chauvinism, many of which we have yet to overcome as a society, but at the same time I feel that it's kind of outlived its usefulness. Today, people are afraid to acknowledge our differences because they don't want to be seen as saying that they are better or worse than anyone else. But no one's better or worse than anyone else in an objective, totalizing sense. We're different. We shine by being the right person in the right place with the right skills at the right time. And that is where our value comes from.